It's been, I think, about a 20-year journey. I remember before the last big invasion into Iraq, kind of seeing all the marketing around it. I even remember getting these, like, kind of collecting cards, sort of how you'd get with, a baseball team or something, and being like, it'd have the generals in there and the new technology and stuff. And I was really buying into all the hype about, like, how cool this was and that sort of thing. And so obviously it's been a long journey since then. I think, for myself as well as a lot of other people, it's not necessarily a journey of changing beliefs as much as it is of finding how those beliefs apply in different areas. Because I think in general, most people want more prosperity and fairness and justice and freedom for people. And I also think that most people don't think that it's right to use threats and violence to achieve their goals. And so where we get the issue is when those come in conflict, and how do we, achieve the freedom and prosperity and fairness without, using those threats of violence. And so I think one of the two ways we grow towards voluntarism, one is by just being more consistent about who it applies to. So I think over time, myself as probably as well as many other people, it's become more and more global, right? So it's not just a better life for me, it's also a better life for my family and my friends and my city and my county and state and country. It's not just some small section of people that I care about, right? So it's that consistency of caring about a better life for everyone. And I think that's one way that we kind of grow in our, stance towards voluntarism and a voluntary society. I think another really difficult issue too is how we deal with the kind of mental anguish we have. I think we have a strong psychological aversion to acknowledging where there's coercion in our lives. We don't want to have that feeling that we're complicit in any of the threats of violence or violence that are happening either by ourselves or in our name. We don't want that on our conscience, and that's completely understandable. So I think one of the things that voluntarists go through is admitting to ourselves and identifying and ferreting out those areas where coercion is a part of our life or society, and owning up to them and saying, no longer, I'm not doing that, don't do it in my name. And then just disavowing that and working against it rather than kind of ignoring it. And that's a hard process because, like I said, it doesn't feel good to realize that there are things where you allowed, harm to come to people in your name. So there's a strong psychological urge, I think, to fight that. But it's very freeing to address it and struggle against it. And so I think that's part of the journey that we have to go through.